I'm Chris Sizlove, and this is the BCM low profile push button QD mount for M-LOK. So we do not manufacture these. This is a BCM product, but it's a fantastic low profile QD or quick detach mount for push button sling mounts, and it's going to go on an M-LOK rail. So just real quick, the reason we have these on our website is so that the client or customer doesn't have to go to multiple websites to get full mission capability. So pick your sling. If you're running either a 1-inch or a 1.25-inch push button on that sling, and you have an M-LOK railed rifle, you don't have to go to a different website to buy the mount. Installation of these things is really simple. I already have one installed up here at the far end of this rail. As you can see, not very big, not obtrusive. The good thing about these as well is, in a perfect world, I want all of my QD mounts, either in the buttstocks or on the rails, to be anti-rotational. And that's important for me because the worst thing, a lot of manufacturers make, QD holes and QD mounts, but there's no scallops cut in them. So what that means is when I put my push button in there, the thing will spin free. So as I'm using my sling, as I'm using my rifle, going from front to rear, back to front, low carry, high ready, all these kind of things, sometimes what can happen with a rotational QD mount is really what's happening is you're spinning this QD and the sling, and over time, the front of your sling looks like this. And if it looks like this, you're not going to be able to adjust it very well at all. So having non-rotational QD mounts in the front and in the rear, good buttstock manufacturers also embed QD mounts that are anti-rotational. They got scallops cut inside of it to make sure that doesn't rotate. That's what we need here. So I already have one up here mounted, but the beauty of these things being so small and unobtrusive is like, well, what if, for whatever usage techniques I have, I also want to put one back here so I can just change my sling depending on what I'm doing, vehicles, whatever. Hell yeah, let's do it. That capability is not going to cost me much in terms of size and weight, so let's go ahead and mount that. When you pull these out of the package, they're covered in cosmoline, so you probably want to take like an alcohol wipe and get that stuff off there first, or else your hands are going to get nasty, but you are going to get that amazing cosmoline smell for a couple of weeks after you mount it, so pick what you want there. All we need to do to mount this thing is get these 2 feet. You see these turn. These are the 2 feet. They're going to lock into this M-LOK rail. Is get those faced the proper direction in line with your rails. Slide them in there. Give it some tension to the rear, all right? And then the kit, when you buy these, comes with the Allen wrench. In fact, I think on the website there's a picture of the mount and an Allen wrench, so you're going to get this too. And go ahead, put a little bit of tension 12 o'clock, so pull the mount up just a little bit. That's just to get some tension on it so it starts to thread. And thread it down. So installation of the M-LOK mount is quite simple. You're going to stick it in there, slide it back, start cranking. A lot of times I find I'm going to need a tool or something to stick down through that slot and stop one of those feet from rotating, just to kind of give it a little bit of tension, then it'll tighten up no problem. So I got this guy here mounted, right? Also a good idea, anything that takes a screw on your rifle would be a great idea to take a fine tip paint marker and witness mark these bolts. And that's just so you can visually, after a day of shooting, visual inspection and say, yep, red line lines up with red line. That thing's not starting to back out. Also using Loctite could be absolutely a good thing in this because, these things vibrate a lot when you're shooting the rifle. So, but now that they're mounted on there, you can kind of see how much options this gives me. So I got a QD hole all the way at the 12 o'clock because I want all of this range of adjustment, but for whatever reason, depending on what I'm doing, weird barricade, weird shooting position, vehicles, whatever, I can bust this, move it back here towards the end of the rail, and have a little bit different application. So at the end of the day, These BCM low profile QD M-LOK mounts is what we go with here at Blue Force Gear. They're on the website for your convenience, and you don't have to go to multiple websites to get the entire setup that you need.